Have you ever had one of those mornings where you wake up and before your feet even touch the floor, your mind is already racing? You think about the doctor's appointment next week, the bills that need sorting, the neighbor's dog barking again, and that strange ache in your back that wasn't there yesterday. And then, before the day even begins, you already feel like you need a nap. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know, you are absolutely not alone. Life after 60 brings many changes. Some of them are beautiful, like having more time to yourself, reconnecting with hobbies, or watching your grandkids grow. But some changes are a little harder, like how stress seems to hang around a little longer, or how your patience and energy wear out quicker than they used to. The truth is, stress doesn't magically disappear with age. In fact, for many people, it can actually sneak in more quietly, through loneliness, health worries, or even just the overwhelm of everyday things piling up. But here's something that might surprise you. Just because we're getting older doesn't mean we have to live with stress as if it's a permanent part of life. You don't need to accept tension, worry, or that nagging sense of unease as your new normal. There are simple, real, and gentle ways to invite calm back into your day, to feel more relaxed, centered, and peaceful, not just now and then, but every single day. That's what we're going to explore in today's video. I want to share with you 6 natural, heart-centered ways to reduce stress after 60, ways that you can easily weave into your daily routine without needing a lot of money, time, or big changes. They're powerful, and they work. And I hope, by the end of this video, you'll feel a little more hopeful and a lot more empowered. And hey, if you enjoy topics like this, about living a meaningful, healthy, and emotionally rich life after 60, please give this video a like, share it with someone you love, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm on a mission to reach 1,000 subscribers so I can keep creating more peaceful, practical content for this beautiful community. Your support means more than you know. Alright, let's begin. Our first habit is something so simple, you might just overlook it, but it has the power to shift your entire day. It starts with how you begin your morning. I'm not talking about an elaborate routine or forcing yourself to do yoga at dawn. What I mean is, creating just 5 minutes of intentional, quiet space before the world rushes in. That could be sitting with a warm cup of tea by the window, listening to the birds. It could be gently stretching your arms and legs while taking a few deep breaths. Or simply saying a little gratitude prayer for waking up today. This small act signals to your nervous system, we're safe. We're okay. We're starting slow. You'd be amazed at how much better your mood, energy, and clarity can be when you gift yourself this moment of peace before you check your phone, read the news, or dive into the day's tasks. Think of it as tending to your inner garden, just a little each morning, and the stress weeds don't grow so fast. Now, once you've started your day with calm, let's talk about one of the most overlooked sources of tension, holding your breath without realizing it. It happens to all of us. You're watching the news, reading a stressful email, or even just focused on a task, and your breathing becomes shallow or pauses altogether. Over time, this tells your body, we're in danger, even if you're just sitting on the couch. One of the most healing habits you can develop is a breathing pause, 3 to 5 times a day. Just stop what you're doing and take 3 slow, conscious breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Make your exhale just a little longer than your inhale. That's it. No fancy techniques needed. Try it now with me. Inhale gently, and exhale slowly. Again. And once more. You may already feel your shoulders soften, or your jaw unclench a little. That's your body returning to calm. You can tie this habit to moments throughout your day, like when the kettle is boiling, or when you sit down to eat. You don't need a reminder app or anything complicated. Just pair it with something you already do. These breathing pauses work like tiny reset buttons, bringing you back into your body, your breath, and your peace. And speaking of peace, let's talk about a practice that has helped thousands of people over 60 feel calmer, more present, and even physically healthier. It's the gentle art of mindful walking. Now, I know walking sounds simple, and maybe you already do it daily. But the difference here is how you walk. Not as a chore. Not while thinking about your to-do list. But as a moving meditation. Imagine stepping outside, even just for 10 minutes, and instead of thinking about the bills or errands, you let yourself simply notice the ground beneath your feet. The feel of the breeze on your face. The sound of birds. The way the light hits the leaves. You don't have to walk far or fast. In fact, slower is better. Just be there, step by step. Let your mind rest in your senses. Mindful walking can reduce stress hormones, improve sleep, and even ease joint pain. One lovely woman in her 70s told me it became her favorite part of the day. She started by walking to her mailbox and back, paying attention to the flowers blooming along the way. Then she added a walk around the block. She said she hadn't felt that peaceful in years. So if you can, find a little path, a hallway, a garden, a sidewalk, and try it. Let walking become your quiet time with yourself. No pressure. No rush. Just you, your breath, and the rhythm of your steps. Now, with that gentle image in mind, let's keep going. Because the next habit. The next habit might surprise you, because it doesn't involve any movement at all. In fact, it's about stopping. Truly stopping. Sitting still. And giving yourself permission to do nothing, for a few minutes each day. Now, I know that sounds a little strange. So many of us grew up in a time where being busy was the same as being useful. Where resting, especially in the middle of the day, felt lazy or selfish. But the truth is, your body and mind actually need periods of intentional stillness to reset. And I'm not talking about sitting in front of the TV or scrolling on your phone. That's still input, and often it adds to the noise in our heads. What I mean is carving out just 10 minutes to sit somewhere quiet, maybe with a cup of warm water or gentle music, and let your brain breathe. Let your thoughts wander without needing to fix anything. Let your shoulders drop and your jaw unclench. Let yourself be fully human, not just productive. One gentleman I spoke with, he's 67 and retired just last year, told me that he began calling this his quiet porch time. Every afternoon, around 4 o'clock, he sits on his back porch, watches the sky, and does absolutely nothing for 15 minutes. No phone, no paper, no agenda. Just the wind, the trees, and the rhythm of his breath. And he said those 15 minutes have changed everything. He worries less, sleeps better, and even finds himself smiling more during the day. There is something sacred about sitting in stillness, especially in a world that never stops talking. You don't need to call it meditation or mindfulness unless that speaks to you. Just think of it as giving yourself space to be, without pressure. Like letting your soul stretch out and relax. And once you've created a little more space and calm inside, the next habit I want to share is one of the most healing practices I've seen, especially for those in their 60s and beyond. It's the simple but powerful act of writing things down. Not to-do lists, or records, or reminders. I'm talking about writing your feelings. Journaling doesn't have to be poetic or perfect. No one else will read it, and it doesn't need to follow any rules. Just take a few minutes a day to write honestly about what you're experiencing, what's weighing on you, what you're grateful for, what confused you today, or what made you smile. There's something about putting thoughts onto paper that helps the mind let go of them. It's like cleaning out a cluttered drawer. You finally get to see what's inside, and suddenly it doesn't feel so heavy. Your fears become less scary. Your sadness feels less stuck. And sometimes, you even surprise yourself with how much wisdom and strength comes out in your own words. One woman in her early 70s told me she began journaling after losing her husband. She started with just 3 lines a night, something she missed, something she loved, and something she hoped for. And over time, she said it became her quiet friend. A way to talk things through. A way to feel heard. And maybe you don't feel like writing every day, and that's okay. Even once or twice a week can work wonders. Keep a small notebook by your bed, or a stack of paper in your kitchen drawer. When you feel overwhelmed or tangled up, try writing it out instead of holding it in. You might just feel a bit lighter afterward. Now, as we're talking about letting go of inner tension, I want to gently bring in something that has helped so many people manage anxiety, sadness, and even physical pain. It's the healing power of laughter. I know, it seems too simple, doesn't it? Laughing? As stress relief? But laughter isn't just about a joke or a funny movie, it's a physical release. When you laugh, your body lets go of built-up tension. Your muscles relax. Your breathing deepens. And your brain gets a beautiful little burst of endorphins, those feel-good chemicals that help chase stress away. Now, I'm not saying you need to go out and learn stand-up comedy. But you can seek out things that make you smile. Maybe it's watching a silly video of a dancing dog, or calling that friend who always makes you laugh. Maybe it's listening to a funny story from your grandchild, or even laughing at yourself when you do something a little silly. Let yourself enjoy it. Let yourself laugh out loud. No need to be serious all the time. One man I knew had a little ritual. Every night before bed, he'd watch 15 minutes of a comedy show from the 70s. He said it helped him sleep better than any pill ever did. Why? Because he ended the day with joy, not worry. And here's a lovely secret: when we laugh, we connect. With others, and with ourselves. We remember that life, even with its aches and worries, is still full of beauty and delight. And that feeling alone can soften your entire nervous system. So if life's been feeling a little heavy lately, try this: make a list of small things that make you chuckle, even a little. A book, a show, a funny memory. Keep it nearby. Let laughter become a part of your daily medicine. And while laughter can lighten your spirit, sometimes what we truly need to calm our stress is connection, someone to talk to, someone to be with, someone who listens without trying to fix. And that brings us to another habit. The habit of reaching out, even just a little. Because while quiet moments and laughter help us feel at peace, real connection brings a kind of healing that nothing else can. Now, I know for some people, especially as we get older, this part can be tricky. Friends may have moved away. Family might be busy or far. And the thought of putting yourself out there might feel exhausting. But connection doesn't have to mean big gatherings or long conversations. Sometimes, it's just a moment. A warm greeting. A shared story. A short phone call that reminds you, you're not alone in this world. Stress has a way of making us feel isolated. Like we're carrying everything by ourselves. But the simple act of opening up, even just a little, can change that. One woman I met told me she began attending a small book circle at her local library, not for the books, she said, but because it gave her something to look forward to. People to sit with. Someone to ask, "How are you doing?" And really mean it. And if you're not the group type, that's okay. Think small. One phone call a week to someone you care about. A short note dropped in the mail, just to say hello. Or even a conversation with the person who bags your groceries. These moments may seem tiny, but they build something deep inside, a sense of belonging, and that matters more than we often realize. If you've ever felt your shoulders relax after a kind word from a friend, or felt your chest soften after sharing a worry out loud, then you've already felt the power of connection. It grounds us. It lifts the weight. And it reminds us we're part of something larger than our own thoughts. And sometimes, if you're really brave, you can take it one step further: ask for help. That doesn't mean weakness. That means wisdom. Knowing when your heart needs company. We don't get medals for doing life alone. We heal faster, smile more, and carry less when we walk together. Now, as we begin to wrap up, I want to offer you one last habit that may be the most quiet and personal of them all, but perhaps the most powerful. It's the practice of gratitude. Not just the vague idea of being thankful, but the real, daily pause to notice what's still good. Gratitude has a way of pulling us out of stress, not by ignoring the hard things, but by shining light on the beauty that still surrounds us. And the older we get, the more we've been through, and yet, the more we've been given. Some mornings, the only thing you might feel grateful for is that your knees still work, or the birds outside your window, or the way the tea feels warm in your hands. But that's more than enough. A woman I once knew in her 80s told me she wrote 3 things she was grateful for every night before bed. Sometimes they were deep, like a good conversation with her son. Sometimes simple, a patch of sunlight across her carpet. But over time, she said her mind changed. Instead of scanning for what was wrong or missing, she started noticing what was beautiful. Her stress didn't disappear, but it softened. Her life didn't suddenly become perfect, but it felt more peaceful. Gratitude brings us back to the present. It reminds us we are still here. Still breathing. Still able to choose kindness, even when life feels uncertain. And when you live with that kind of awareness, stress begins to loosen its grip. You don't need a fancy journal or a big ceremony to begin. Just notice. Say thank you when the breeze feels nice. Whisper it to yourself when a meal turns out well. Or when you hear a favorite song or see someone smile. The world is offering us tiny gifts every day, and the more we pay attention, the less room stress has to take over. So, if you've been feeling overwhelmed lately, or if the days feel a bit heavier than usual, I want to remind you, there's hope. There's always hope. Stress might be a part of life, but it doesn't have to run the show. Not anymore. Because now you've got tools. You've got moments of stillness to rest in. You've got journaling to untangle the knots in your heart. You've got laughter to lighten your spirit. You've got connection to hold you steady. And you've got gratitude to bring your focus back to the beauty of this moment. And remember, you don't have to do them all at once. Start with one. Try it gently. Let it grow naturally into your day. Small changes, little steps, they're more powerful than we often give them credit for. If this video spoke to you in any way, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What helps you feel calmer? What habit are you thinking about trying? Share your experience in the comments below, it just might help someone else who's listening. And if you'd like more gentle, supportive videos like this, about living well, aging with meaning, and finding joy in the everyday, please do give this video a like, share it with someone you love, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'm on my journey to reach 1,000 subscribers, and every new member of this little community helps us keep growing together. You are not alone in your stress, and you don't have to stay stuck in it. You deserve peace. You deserve ease. And even now, especially now, you deserve to feel good, deep down in your soul. Take a deep breath. Smile a little. This is your time. And here's to living your best, most beautiful life, at any age.